Welcome back to the garage. I got something new here today. This is a diesel heater that I bought on Amazon. You can pick these things up for under $200. They run on diesel fuel and they need a 12-volt source, and I'm going to set this up to give me heat in my race car trailer when I go to the racetrack. But today I'm going to open it up and get it assembled and ready to work. And tomorrow we're going to set this up to heat my friend Mike's garage while we work on his 57 Chevy Bel Air. So let's open the box and see what we've got. So it looks like it's pretty nicely packaged. So this is an all-in-one unit. You can get these in a smaller model that has a separate tank, but this one's got everything built into it. It's got a tank built into it. It's got a control panel built into it. And it's given me some other stuff here. This is an air silencer that goes on the fresh air intake. This is a muffler, it goes on the exhaust. This is the hot air pipe, so this is what's going to push out hot air. That's the intake pipe, I believe. And there should be one more. The package of hardware here. And this is the exhaust pipe. So in the bottom of it, it brings fresh air in to burn, it pushes exhaust out, it pulls in fresh air on this end through this grill, and it pushes hot air out of that hole, and this is the control panel. So this will fit on there, and then once this is set up to run my trailer, this is going to go into the trailer tomorrow. This will be going through a window with a piece of wood in it to block the air into my friend's garage. So everything I know about these, I know from watching YouTube videos, because the instructions that come with these are quite useless. So I know what I'm doing without reading any instructions. So the first problem with this is that this pipe needs to make a 90-degree turn where it comes out of the bottom. And because these feet are so short, when it's set up, it won't sit flat, and this will be on the ground. So if you're on like some dry grass, it could potentially set the grass on fire. So they give you these holes here in the feet conveniently, like they knew you were gonna do this. So you got to add some feet. So that'll be my first job. I've got a couple of pieces of 2x4 cut, and I'm going to screw these with these holes and make some feet. Alright, so I got my feet installed, so now you can see this sits much higher. So the next step is going to be to install the air intake and exhaust. So the exhaust goes on this hole here. This is stainless steel, it appears, but it's a little bit soft and it's a little bit flattened. So it's going to take a bit to get on there. There we go. So that goes on there all right. Okay, so put a clamp on, slide that right on there. There's a little slot conveniently here. You can stick a screwdriver through and reach that clamp to tighten it up. That's pretty good. And we'll do the same with the air intake hose. This one's going to come out the back. other clamp on. And it slides right on. Flip it back on its feet, and this air intake I'm going to secure with a zip tie up here, and I'll put this on as well, so this can come up like this. This will stretch out a little bit more, and on the other side it'll have a muffler on here, so that'll slide right on there. And we've got one more clamp available for that. Air intake hose goes on basically the same way. Put one of these big clamps on, slides over that. And there's one final thing I'm going to do, which is to put a couple of ring terminals on the 12-volt wires, so that'll be easy to hook up to a battery tomorrow. So a few more refinements to do. I'm going to put a clamp on this to hold it in the position that I decide I want it to go. I actually think I want it to come maybe down like this, or I'll make a stand for this. Same thing with this. I don't want this flopping around, so I'm going to secure this just with zip ties. But otherwise, that is the diesel heater out of the box, assembled. And once I get some diesel fuel tomorrow, it'll be ready to hook up to a battery and create some heat. And when it's plugged in working, I'll have a video for you. So we've got the diesel heater set up temporarily, hot air being piped in through this board I put in the window. This is just a temporary setup to see how this thing works. The plan is that it's going to be used to heat this trailer here and that other trailer over there. Got a 12-volt car battery hooked up. It's hooked up to a trickle charger just because that battery's old and doesn't have a lot of power left. We're on level 3. It says it's putting out 178 degrees. There's 4 degrees outside. Feels a little colder than that. We're at 12 volts and we're on heat level 3. So this thing's chugging away, pumping heat into the garage. When I started, the temperature was 60 degrees inside the garage, Fahrenheit. I've shut off the natural gas furnace and now this thing's heating the garage, and we'll see how it does. In a couple hours, if it's still 60 or above, that means it's doing its job. Okay, the diesel heater's been running for a couple of hours. Heat's coming in through this little hole behind me, through this piece of plywood, and then this fan is circulating the air around the garage. I've got it now on the second lowest setting, so it's got 1 through 6. It's on number 2, and the temperature's holding steady in here at 62 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 60 degrees when I turned this heater on, so it's actually keeping it warmer than I normally have it set with the natural gas furnace, and it's run for about 3 hours, and I can't tell that it's used any fuel in the tank. Tank still looks like it's full to just about the level that I started with. So it's very quiet also. The fan is actually louder than the sound coming out of the air pipe from the heater. The heater outside makes a little bit of noise, it's clicking noise, and you can hear the air going through it. And the burner sounds a little bit like a small blowtorch, but I can't hear that at all while it's in here. So overall, I'm really happy with this setup. This is just to test it out before I figure out a way to hook this up and use it in my trailers. But yeah, definitely happy. The two challenges I did have with this heater was first, yesterday we tried it at my friend Mike's house, and it would turn on and then go into error code, and that was for low fuel. And I took it apart and there was a really bad kink in the fuel hose, so I had to cut a piece off and put it back on shorter, and that eliminated the kink. Then it ran fine after that. The other issue was the instructions were not correct for how to pair the remote. So I watched every YouTube video I could find that had a remote similar to mine. Eventually I found one that worked, so that's hooked up and working now too. So a couple minor little hiccups there. Otherwise, like I say, very happy with this, and it's going to work really good in the trailer, because the trailer is about half the size of the inside of this garage. So stay tuned for more videos on Rod Father Garage. Get out in your garage and make something work on your garage, work on your car, and come back here for future videos on Rod Father Garage.